Listen, I love a good conspiracy theory. I really do. I'm not kidding. I love conspiracy theories. I love digging into them. I love questioning the official narrative. It's one of my favorite things to do. But if we do that every single time about every single little thing, it does nobody a service. And that's what I think is happening with a lot of the Charlie Kirk investigation, the Charlie Kirk trial, things like that. I think there's just a desire for there to be a conspiracy theory. There is, I can't pretend to understand the psychology of it, if I'm going to be honest. I was going to try to, but I can't. For whatever reason, people want there to be a big conspiracy. And, you know, maybe in some universe there was, but as of right now, there hasn't been any evidence of this. And people have just been pointing to random things and claiming it's evidence. I think Candace Owens is the best example of this. If you're not terminally online, maybe you're lucky enough to have missed this. But Candace Owens has claimed that everybody from France to Israel to Erica Kirk herself all orchestrated the murder of Charlie Kirk. And she hasn't provided a single shred of evidence for any of those claims. She just jumps to the next one, whatever the next supposed killer of Charlie Kirk is. And then she'll carry on with that for a couple of weeks, and then that'll be obviously not true, and she'll just move on to the next one. Now, to a lesser extent, that is trying to happen, or people are trying to make that happen, I should say, with Charlie Kirk's alleged killer, Tyler Robinson. And the latest way that they're trying to make that happen is now there's these claims that, oh, the bullet didn't match the gun that Tyler Robinson had. So I want to show you some examples of this just to sort of iron this out before the conspiracy theorists take it and run with it, before this is the only thing all over Facebook and everybody just completely believes that this is what happened and Tyler Robinson was set up. Because, I mean, I've met people that are smart enough to know better that don't. So here's the headline from People magazine. Bullet that killed Charlie Kirk doesn't match Tyler Robinson's rifle, his lawyers claim. Now, to the layman, if you're just seeing that for the first time, you might think, okay, well, that's suspicious, right? Because I thought we had the guy dead to rights. I thought we had the gun and we knew where he was perched and we saw him with it and la-di-da-di-da. So what do you mean the bullet didn't match? Do you mean the bullet was fired from somewhere else? Was there another shooter? No, that's not what even people admitted it right here. Tyler Robinson's lawyers are arguing in a new court filing that the ATF has been unable to conclusively link the bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk to a rifle, quote, allegedly tied to their client. Robinson's attorneys are seeking to delay a preliminary hearing currently scheduled for May. Robinson is accused of being the shooter who killed Kirk at an event at Utah Valley University. Now, obviously, the way they've posed this starts to raise some questions, especially if all you see is the headline. And let's be honest, that's all people see. All right, you're scrolling through Facebook, you see that headline, and that's what you see. That's what you screenshot. That's what you spread around. You're not digging into the article to go dig through the details. You just aren't. You aren't doing it. All right? Unless you're, 1 in 6,000 people. But almost every person doesn't do that, which is how fake news starts to spread. So, first of all, I want to show you a better headline that I think more accurately describes the situation. This is from the New York Post. Prosecutors reveal what analysis of Charlie Kirk bullet and Tyler Robinson's gun really found. And that is a more accurate headline. The bullet that killed Charlie Kirk was so damaged that investigators could not confirm that it was fired from Tyler Robinson's gun. But that doesn't mean it actually came from a different rifle, prosecutors said on Tuesday. And if you understand anything about ballistics, you know that makes sense, right? I mean, we all know that. We've all seen probably, if you watch a lot of ballistic and gun videos on YouTube, maybe you've seen this. Maybe I'm weird here because I know this, but most bullets are made out of lead or some lead-like material. Lead is a very malleable metal, especially when it's hot, like when it's been fired out of a gun. It's very hot, it's very malleable, all right? Which means if you shoot it and it hits something very hard, like a human bone, it's very likely that it would splinter, shatter, get very, very, very smushed. Go on YouTube right now if you don't believe me and find some videos of people shooting something like a metal plate. There's this one guy that I watch all the time. I don't remember the name of his channel, but he just makes videos where he shoots different stuff with different caliber bullets just to see what happens to the bullet and to the item in question. And so very often you see these very flat, misshapen, shattered pieces of lead that's left over from this. It's very hard to ballistically match that because how that works is they basically look at the patterns on the inside of the barrel of the rifle and see if that matches what is on the outside of the bullet. As you fire a bullet, it expands, it catches rifling, and that causes the bullet to turn. That digs into the lead, all right? And that's what gives the bullet its direction. So there's signs of that, and sometimes you can go and you can match that back, and you can say, okay, this is the pattern on the inside of the barrel. It matches the pattern on the outside of the bullet, la-di-da-di-da. But if your bullet is shattered and smashed to hell and back, you're not going to be able to do that. It's just not going to add up. And so is there a conspiracy theory here? No, but there's a flashy headline. And people grab that flashy headline, they share it on Facebook, and they say, look, see, it's proof that there's a conspiracy. And what's really happening is confirmation bias. You want there to be a conspiracy. I don't know why you want there to be a conspiracy theory. And so you start looking for things that can be used to justify the conspiracy theory. Now, the reality is this actually isn't entirely uncommon. Now, I did some digging on Grok, so take a grain of salt. But from what I've seen, inconclusive results are common, around 20% or more in routine casework, and sometimes over 50% in formal studies. So the fact that they couldn't match this bullet is not surprising. Again, that does not mean it came from a different gun. It just means they couldn't confirm 100% that it matched. All right? And listen, I want justice for Charlie. I want the person that did it to be caught and punished. I would love to see them publicly executed for their crimes. And it looks like that person may have allegedly been Tyler Robinson. There will be a trial. We will see all of that play out. And if he didn't do it, he didn't do it. And if he did, I'm sure there will be more than enough evidence to prove it. And he will be convicted and sentenced accordingly. But can we please, for just a minute, not be crazy, right? I feel like that's not too much to ask. This is always the complaint from the right at the left, is you guys are just crazy. Let's not be crazy. Let's look at the evidence, okay? Let's take our time to carefully analyze what the actual data sets that are available show happened, and then operate based on that. And if those data sets come up inconclusive, if stuff doesn't match, if we get to the end of this trial and it's almost obvious that there's not enough evidence that something happened here, then we can start saying, okay, there may have been a conspiracy theory. But as of right now, all of the evidence we have available points to the guy in custody.